Good morning, students. In today's lecture of RTS, we are going to discuss about scheduling approaches of a periodic task. So what we are going to discuss? Scheduling approaches of a periodic task, right? So we are going to see the following approaches that is used for a periodic task, right? So let's take the first point. See, scheduling approaches of a periodic task are concentrate on the performance of schedules. See, the main concentration of scheduling approaches is what it is? It is on the performance of scheduler, how the scheduler is actually performing. So the main focus is on that. So you can write it down. The scheduling approaches of a periodic tasks are concentrate on the performance of the schedule, right? So main focus is on the performance of schedule, right? Now second point, see, these approaches defines how to schedule a periodic task. So these are the various type of approaches that is available to us. Via these approaches only we came to know that how exactly we have to schedule a periodic task. So you can say that a periodic task is being scheduled by these approaches only. So let's write it down. These approaches defines how to schedule a periodic task, right? So all these things or all these approaches actually defines that how can we actually schedule a periodic task, right? Now next point that we need to understand is, see what happens all the time, basically, like whatever a periodic task is there, it's always run at the background. Where exactly it runs? It's run at the background. So you can write it down. See, the approaches defines that the periodic jobs are scheduled into the background, right? Background of the periodic. See, any task can run in the two ways. You understand? Actually, any task can be run in two ways. Firstly, it can run on the foreground, or else it can run on the background. Now, in case of aperiodic scheduling, what happens? All the aperiodic task is run at the background of periodic task, right? So this point is clear. Now, these 3 points are clear. So there are approaches of scheduling a periodic task. There are various types of approaches that are available for scheduling a periodic task, and that can broadly be categorized into 3 parts. What are those 3 parts? First, it can execute a periodic job in the background. Second, we can execute a periodic job by interrupting the periodic job. How can we execute a periodic job? By interrupting the periodic job. And third is polled server. So you can say there are 3 approaches for scheduling task. Like, first is, what is first? Execute a periodic job in background. So execute a periodic job in background. So what we actually do, I have already explained you that all the periodic jobs are run at the background of periodic job, right? So that's what is mentioned in this point. And second way is to execute a periodic job by interrupting the periodic job. So execute a periodic job by interrupting the periodic jobs. See, what we are trying to make you understand in this point is that for example, some periodic job is actually executing. So what we do with the help of interrupt, we are interrupting that periodic job that is currently run, and instead of that periodic job, what we are put into the execution? A periodic job. So this is another approach. And third approach is polled server. So right, these are the basic, or these are the main approaches via which, right, we schedules a task, a periodic task, and this is something that we are going to discuss in detail, right? So let's understand these points in detail. Let's take the first. What was first? Background approach of a periodic task. Let's write it down. Background approach of a periodic task, right? See, background approach refers to the priority driven and preemptive schedulers. What type of schedulers that refers to? It basically refers to priority driven and preemptive schedulers. So let's write it down. Background approach refers to the priority driven preemptive scheduler. So what type of two scheduler that is being referred by background approach? That is priority driven and preemptive schedule. This is clear? Okay. Now a background approach defines that a background task or a periodic task can run when there is no periodic or sporadic task available. See, what they are trying to say, when there is no periodic and sporadic task available, when the availability of periodic task and sporadic task is not there, then only, at the background, that background task, a periodic task can run. The aperiodic task can run only and only when there is no periodic or sporadic task available. So let's write this point also. A background approach defines, what it defines? That a background task. See, what background approach is actually explaining? It is saying that a background task can run. You understand? It can run only and only when there is no periodic or sporadic task available. So let's write it down. A background approach defines that a background task, or what is the name of another name of background task? A periodic task. You can either call it background task or a periodic task. A periodic task can run when there is no periodic or sporadic task available. When the available of sporadic and periodic task is null, then only you can run background task or a periodic task. Let's take another point. What is another point of it? See what happens. Let's take the background task. The background task have lowest priority. See, the priority of anything is being decided on the basis of its availability, deadline, all these things. See, right, this is something where we have discussed earlier also. Now in this case, the background tasks have lowest priority, means the preference which is given to the background task is lowest. First, all the tasks that is running at the foreground is being forecast or is being executed first, and then only the background task is executed. So the priority of background task is lowest, right? Now this approach produce feasible schedule, right? So if you are talking about the advantage of this approach, then these approaches actually produce a feasible schedule. For example, two system, we can consider two periodic tasks is running, suppose task T1 and T2. So which, and something that is running at the foreground. So you can take example of two tasks and then you can explain it in a more better way. Now we'll take an advantage of background. You see, if there is any type of approach is available, then definitely that approach is having certain advantage and disadvantage. Now we'll take advantage of background approach. So advantage of background approach, right? So we are going to see what are the various type of advantage of background approach. First, background approach always produces feasible or correct schedule. What type of production of background approaches? It is always feasible and correct. So let's write it down. Background approach produces feasible or correct schedule, right? Second advantage is that it is simple to implement. All the background approaches, it is very simple to implement. So you can write it down. This is also an advantage, simple to implement, right? Now third advantage, aperiodic jobs are completed in the background portions of the periodic jobs. So all the periodic job is already running at the foreground, and one of the major advantage of aperiodic tasks is that you can run it at the background. So simultaneously periodic job and aperiodic job both are running. So you can write it down. Aperiodic job completes, aperiodic jobs are completed in the back portion of periodic job, in the back portion of periodic jobs, right? And last but not the least, it has minimum response time. Minimum response time. So today we have seen what we have seen. We have seen scheduling approaches of aperiodic tasks. What are the scheduling approaches of periodic tasks? There are three types of approaches that is being used for periodic tasks. First is execute a periodic job in background. Second, execute a aperiodic job by interrupting the periodic job. And third is a port server. Out of these three approaches we have discussed in detail the background approach for aperiodic tasks. We have seen its advantage, and that's all for today. Next, we'll take the other 2 points we'll take in the next section. Thank you very much.